Well, I actually grew up in New Orleans and got all the way through high school there. Then went to LSU in Baton Rouge. When I was a graduating senior, I was in ROTC, and they said, well, what field do you want to go into? Because I had some honors that helped me out, and they said, here are all your options. And I said, well, gee, I'd like to go into the Medical Service Corps. And I did it on the spur of the moment, no preparation, no forethought, but it sounded good, and lo and behold, here we are 45 years later, and it's been my career the whole time. I'm lucky to have a wife who works in healthcare also as a professional, and we have a lot to talk about, and our son has become very interested in both her work and in mine. He's now a sophomore at Ithaca College. With Catholic Charities, it was through Highmark, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and through Gateway Health. We had very close connections with the Free Healthcare Center, which is located only a couple blocks from my headquarters. At that time was at USX. And of course they were serving the uninsured population, a real hole in our service delivery system. It was yeoman's work. It was for adults, people who were, absolutely without insurance and yet were at very high risk. One person had a very, very bad dental problem because it had been untreated for all these many years, and they really had to restore the entire mouth. They brought this person back to health, was able to get a job and do very, very well, and they really thanked the dentists and the professionals at the center, both volunteer as well as the employed staff. All those kind of things are very heartwarming, and the most important thing perhaps is the feedback from the patients is universally positive. These are nonprofit organizations whose mission it is to serve the poor, to serve the uninsured, to serve those who are otherwise disenfranchised from our healthcare system. I took great interest in that and still do. They are really doing God's work, if you will, because they are serving those who others don't. And I believe we have an obligation as a society to make sure we treat everyone exactly the same, whether they are insured, rich, poor, men, women, children, adults. And that's exactly what happens in those organizations. And I'm deeply supportive of that, and they really do fantastic work.
I think businesses, especially institutions like Kennywood, who have been around for over a century, have a responsibility to the community to be good partners. We find that the team members we get from Life's Work are consistently some of our best team members, not only dealing with other team members, but our guests as well, especially people like Verna, who come to work every day with a smile on their face. You get greeted with that great big good morning and grin, and you can see her around the park all day working hard and really making a difference here at Kennywood, which is something that we're really happy we can be a part of.
So, Verna, how long have you been working at Kennywood?
This is my 12th year.
What's your favorite thing to do?
Tables and sweep.
Yeah, do you like interacting with the customers?
Yeah, I get along with them.
You got some real exciting news. Could you tell me about it?
Yeah, I just landed up on the Kennywood chairs again. Second time.
We have a wishing well here in the park, and we collect the money from it every year, and we always look for a worthy organization. We have such a great working relationship with Life's Work that it was very simple to decide what organization should get that money because it is such a quality relationship. We work with a variety of different community organizations, including Project Bundle Up and Goodwill, and we're always looking to find new relationships as well. So it's something that is a part of the culture here at Kennywood, and it's something that we look forward to continue for decades to come.
Well, me growing up, I grew up in a large family, 10 kids. I was number 7 in the group. older sisters and brothers, mom and dad. And when I was growing up as a young man, my grandmother even stayed at our home. The reason Obadiah Cole Foundation started is because I realized that there wasn't enough awareness around about prostate cancer. One of my older brothers, he was the first one that was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And after he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, talking to my general practitioner, my doctor, he said, I think that's where your father's cancer started from. It was a metastasis from this prostate to his lungs. And I always thought he had lung cancer because he had part of his lung removed. 2 years later, my second brother was diagnosed in 2001 with prostate cancer. 2003, my youngest brother at the age of 40 was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And then in 2004, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And I'm saying, wow, golly, this is something that's running really prevalent in my family. And I don't hear much about it, okay? Something needs to be done. One of the guys that founded the walk here in Pittsburgh was a guy by the name of Jerry Livingston and another guy by the name of Jerry Boardman, and we became friends. They're both cancer survivors, and we began to talk. I talked to them about starting a foundation in Pittsburgh for prostate cancer, for awareness and education and blood screenings. My grandmother was a giver, my mother was a giver. It was just in the blood. And then I realized many, many years ago that it was more than that. It was a blessing. People that spend time giving to other people, they're blessed with something just a little bit different. We get excited about it being larger than what it is now. It's still something that we've only been working on for a few years. The men's disease has been around a long time. There's still over 30,000 men dying every year because of prostate cancer. It is something that's hereditary, but then again, it isn't hereditary because we don't know where it originates. Most African Americans, when they get prostate cancer, it's always the most aggressive. And that's why so many more pass away. It's very important that they start to get checked at an early age. This is something that can take you out, or if you catch it early enough, you can be around a long time. There'll be other things that will take your life before prostate cancer if you catch it early enough.